Okay, picture this. Elon Musk, the guy who basically made electric cars cool and is always coming up with something wild like sending rockets into space or building robots that look suspiciously like they could take over the world one day, just got invited to this massive investment summit in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, you heard that right, Saudi Arabia. And not just any event, but one of those ultra-high-profile, let's make history kind of summits where you've got billionaires, CEOs, and government big shots all in the same room, probably drinking fancy coffee and talking about deals worth more money than most of us can even imagine. Now, before we dive into why this is such a big deal, let me just say, if you're into stories about tech business or just want to keep up with the kind of stuff that shapes the world, go ahead and hit subscribe. I promise, there's always something interesting around the corner. All right, back to Musk. So here's the thing. This summit is happening in Riyadh, the capital of Saudi Arabia, and it's all about bringing together the heavy hitters from the US and Saudi business worlds. We're talking the CEOs of BlackRock, Boeing, IBM, and a bunch of airlines, plus, rumor has it, Sam Altman from OpenAI might show up too. It's like the Avengers, but for business. The goal? To lock in some seriously big investment deals and, honestly, to show off just how strong the relationship between the US and Saudi Arabia is right now. But why is Elon Musk, of all people, such a headline here? Well, his relationship with Saudi Arabia has been, let's say, a bit complicated. Remember back in 2018 when Musk tweeted that he had funding secured to take Tesla private? That tweet set off a firestorm, and it turned out the funding he was talking about was supposed to come from Saudi Arabia's sovereign wealth fund. Except the deal fell apart. Investors got mad. There was a lawsuit and some pretty awkward text messages between Musk and the head of the Saudi fund got aired in court. At one point, Musk even accused the Saudis of throwing him under the bus. Not exactly the friendliest back and forth, but here's where it gets interesting. Fast forward to now, and things have changed. Musk and the Saudis have started to patch things up, and it's not just talk. Tesla just launched in Saudi Arabia, which is a huge move. I mean, think about it. In a country where gas is super cheap and most people drive big, fuel-guzzling SUVs, electric cars are kind of a hard sell. But Musk pulled it off, and the launch event was basically a Tesla showcase robots, cyber trucks, self-driving cabs, the whole 9 yards. It was like a tech expo dropped right in the middle of the desert. So what's behind this sudden change of heart? A lot of it has to do with the bigger picture. Saudi Arabia is pushing this thing called Vision 2030, which is all about moving away from oil and building up new industries, tech, healthcare, AI, you name it. They want to be the Silicon Valley of the Middle East. And who better to help with that than Elon Musk, the guy who's basically made a career out of shaking up entire industries. And it's not just about cars or rockets. Musk has his hands in all sorts of pies right now. He's got xAI, his artificial intelligence company, which just teamed up with Palantir and some big investment firms to push AI into finance. He's working with Microsoft and BlackRock to build out AI infrastructure in the US. And he's even got this new government gig, heading up a department focused on making the government more efficient. Classic Musk, right? Always looking for ways to cut out the middleman and speed things up. But let's zoom out for a second. Why is this summit such a big deal for the US and Saudi Arabia? Well, President Trump is making his rounds in the Middle East, and while he's not going to the summit himself, he's sending some top people from his administration. The US is basically saying, hey, let's make some deals. There is talk of Saudi Arabia investing $1 trillion in the US over the next few years. Yeah, trillion with a T. And a massive arms deal that could be worth over $100 billion. It's the kind of money that makes your head spin. The summit itself is being hyped as this blockbuster event, with major announcements expected in everything from defense to AI to healthcare. The Saudis are rolling out the red carpet, inviting 15 of their top ministers to sit down with these American business leaders. It's all about deepening the partnership, unlocking new opportunities, and honestly, just showing off what both countries can do when they team up. And Musk is right in the middle of it. His presence at the summit isn't just symbolic. It's a sign that the past is, well, in the past. The feud over the Tesla deal is water under the bridge, and now there's a real chance for collaboration. For Tesla, this could mean a bigger footprint in the Middle East, more investment, and maybe even new partnerships to help Saudi Arabia hit those Vision 2030 goals. But let's be real, it's not all smooth sailing. There are still some big challenges. For one thing, Saudi Arabia isn't exactly known for its electric vehicle infrastructure. Charging stations are few and far between, and with gas being so cheap, it's going to take some serious convincing to get people to switch to EVs. Plus, driving across the desert in an electric car, that's a whole different ball game compared to cruising down the 405 in LA. Still, if anyone can make it happen, it's probably Musk. He's got a knack for turning skeptics into believers, whether it's with rockets, cars, or even flamethrowers. And with the Saudis looking to diversify and modernize, there's a real opportunity here for both sides. Now let's talk about what this could mean going forward. If Musk and the Saudis can work together, we could see some pretty wild innovations coming out of the Middle East. Imagine a city in the desert powered entirely by solar energy, filled with self-driving Teslas and AI-powered everything. It sounds like science fiction, but honestly, with the kind of money and brain power at this summit, it's not that far-fetched. And for Musk, it's a chance to do what he does best: disrupt, innovate, and maybe even change the world again. Whether it's building the next generation of electric cars, launching satellites, or figuring out how to make government less of a headache, he's always looking for the next big thing. But it's not just about Musk. This summit is a reminder that the world is changing fast. Countries like Saudi Arabia are looking to reinvent themselves, and they were not afraid to bring in the best and brightest from around the globe to make it happen. For the US, it's a chance to strengthen ties, create new opportunities, and stay at the forefront of innovation. So what's the takeaway here? Well, if you're into tech, business, or just want to know where the world is headed, keep an eye on what comes out of this summit. The deals made here could shape everything from the cars we drive to the way we power our cities. And with Musk in the mix, you know it's going to be interesting. Honestly, it's kind of wild to think about how much has changed in just a few years. From public feuds and lawsuits to launching Teslas in the desert and shaking hands at high-stakes summits, it's a reminder that in business and in life, things can turn around fast. All it takes is the right opportunity, a little bit of vision, and okay, maybe a few $1 billion. So next time you see a headline about Musk jetting off to some far-flung country or making another big announcement, just remember, it's all part of a much bigger story, one where technology, business, and even a little bit of old-fashioned diplomacy come together to shape the future. And hey, if you want to stay in the loop on stories like this, where tech meets business and the world gets just a little bit weirder and more interesting, don't forget to subscribe. There's always something new just around the corner, and trust me, you won't want to miss it.